Hi guys, welcome to a new video. So I'm doing a collab today with one of my closest friends.
Hey guys, what's happening? My name's Chloe.
Yeah. So today's going to be kind of not very structured. We're literally in the middle of a field doing nothing, but yeah, so it's not going to be very structured. It's just like a casual sort of talk about our experiences of the signs, I guess, and what we think about them. Obviously, I've got a lot on my channel about what I think of the signs, but I thought like we can get a different perspective from Chloe's opinion as well. So I thought it would just be like a casual video. And before we start, we have drank some gin, so if we sound a bit weird, that's why. Yeah, I mean we're
It is what it is,
a
yeah.
bit tipsy right now because the pubs have just reopened, obviously. So yeah.
Gotta make the most of it, guys.
So yeah, but we're not so drunk that we can't talk for the video, so that's good.
Nah.
But you know, no one unsubscribe because we're drunk. Thank you. So okay, so what? We'll just talk about all the signs then.
Alright, sweet.
So what sign we're talking first? I mean, probably Aries because it's the first one.
Let's go on to Aries.
So yeah, what do you think about Aries then?
So I haven't really had like a good experience of Aries because
Yes.
I dated one, and sorry if you're watching, my ex, but yeah, he was nice to start off with, but then he turned very manipulative and blackmailing. And he just wanted everything his way, and like I'm a Gemini, so me and an Aries didn't really go too well, but yeah, he was just like, he was sending mixed signals, and so about 3 months after I dated him, I broke up with him. So yeah, what's your opinion on Aries?
Well, I mean, my opinion's quite average with Aries, like
They're probably my least favourite fire sign out of them all.
yeah, like I don't agree on that thing, but Aries, like on my new list they're 5 out of 12. So that obviously shows that I like them quite a lot, but I don't know. I like Aries for the fact that they're adventurous, most of them. They're quite like brave, they like new challenges, and they're quite energetic, and you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not very energy.
They start the whole cycle, which is nice, because obviously nothing would exist without Aries starting the cycle. So yeah, like I like Aries for that.
Yeah.
I do think they're a bit overdone with the fire though sometimes. They're a bit aggressive, which I don't like. They're a bit in your face as well. They can be a bit like self-centered as well, but which can be a problem in like relationships, for example. But I don't know, like I actually like Aries. They're 5 on my new list, so I know I haven't done a video on my newest list, but I might do that whenever. But yeah, like I kind of like Aries overall. I think there's more positive than negative, but I've never been in a relationship with an Aries, so I can't speak on that side of the Aries. But yeah, I don't think I would be compatible with them in a relationship either. So that's that. So yeah, Taurus. What do you think about Taurus?
So you see, I've made quite a lot of friends with Taurus, like Sun. And to be honest with you, I have a lot of love and respect for them. My granddad, who's been gone quite a while now, he was a Taurus, and literally all I can say about Taurus is they have so much love for people, and they're just so they're just so family orientated, which I really admire about them. Like my granddad, he'd always put his family first, which I loved. And Taurus, yeah, people may moan that they're lazy and like don't do a lot with their lives.
They are lazy.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I think we all act a bit like a Taurus, like watching TV, eating snacks. Like at least, come on, guys, at least admit that you do that at least once a week or something. Like it's just relaxation period, really.
I think Taurus is skilled at the art of relaxing themselves. That's what it is. Taurus is skilled at just, well, even though because they're so professional, they can be a bit of a workaholic, but at the same time, they do also know how to relax themselves and, you know, just indulge in life's pleasures and everything. Of course, they are ruled by Venus.
One of the downsides about Taurus, I find, though, is, like, they don't really have, like, great timing skills. So, like, timekeeping skills. So, like, you could arrange to meet them at a certain time, they'd be quite late, but
I
just know it's part of them, really.
No, but I don't think that's Taurus per se. I think that's just like if they're like lazy and they're just like sleeping,
Yeah,
then they might be late to turn up to meet you because they're too busy like, doing other stuff.
probably, yeah.
If they have a job though, don't get it wrong. If they have a job, they are very, very organised, very much
yeah,
on time.
definitely. I agree with that.
But with friends, they are very loyal as friends, but they are a bit. If they are in a lazy mindset, they can be late to meet you because they're too busy, like sleeping or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Also, Taurus, the only kind of bad thing that I think about them is that they are quite stubborn, and if
yeah, they can be.
if you don't
Stubborn,
agree with
definitely.
them, if you don't agree with them, then there's no change in their mind.
They're not going to change their mind just for you.
They won't change their mind for no one normally.
Literally, yeah.
And
I agree.
in my newest list, Taurus is actually my favourite sign, but
Taurus is in my top 3, so as you can imagine, they are quite high up.
yeah, Taurus is my favourite sign in my current list, my newest one. But yeah, they are quite stubborn about. If you don't agree with them, then they won't really bend their opinion to agree with you.
No.
They're quite stubborn.
Stuck in their ways, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're quite traditional, so they can actually be a little judgmental sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, they are a bit lazy as well.
It's just
and
part of Taurus, so.
for my Mars is an Aries, so I get a bit frustrated by how slow moving they can be, because they can move slowly. Like if they're in a pleasant situation or a happy part in their life, they will just kind of stay there. Like they're quite inert. They don't like go and do something more with their life. They kind of just stay with what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Which that annoys a little bit my Mars and Aries, I think. So that's the thing that I don't like about Taurus. But other than that, like I literally love Taurus. So
Yeah,
all I
Taurus
can
have
say.
got a big place in my heart, definitely.
I love how they channel the Venus into like literally physical affection as well as like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's not even just emotional sort of affection like Libra, but it's also physical with Taurus as well. Like they like to hug, they love all of these
100%,
things.
Yeah.
Which Libra's more like in the mind, but Taurus is more like physical
yeah,
affection.
I love that from Taurus.
So Gemini. So that's Chloe's sun sign,
Yeah.
and also Venus and Mars as well. So yeah.
Gemini, I've always said, like, they're just an overall great sign. Like, there's not many things you can diss about Geminis, really, in my opinion. But other people are obviously going to think different. So I've got quite a few family members and friends that are Geminis, and literally, one word you can't describe Gemini with is boring. They are literally
Gemini's
the most
not boring.
unboring person you
They
can
are not
meet.
boring at all.
Like you could, like a Gemini like me. So if I'm out with my mates or something, I want to do something like active because I've got a lot of energy from air. I just want to do something, channel my like energy into it. I'd say we're quite the party animal as well, Geminis, at parties and shit. Shit, I shouldn't be swearing. But yeah, like, let's just put it this way: you're never gonna have like a sad time with a Gemini.
No.
Literally.
I think Gemini is 4th place on my newest list.
I don't think they care. I think they like don't really care much though about serious situations.
Yeah, they don't.
Because I can say that quite confidently myself.
I don't think Gemini doesn't care about serious situations, but I do think they are uncomfortable with too much serious.
Oh yeah, I can't take like really serious people.
Yeah, they don't
so-
like serious. They like more light and carefree, I would say.
Yeah.
And they don't like anything that is very serious, heavy.
Oh no.
But also, they're quite a happy sign, so they don't like people who are always like depressed and down and
No.
just like. They don't appreciate someone else dragging down their good mood. They don't like that.
Geminis, I think, are like really optimistic, positive people.
They can be.
So I don't think there's not many.
I paused it. Oh. Yeah, so another thing about Gemini, they can be a bit unemotional at times. Like they're, because they don't like serious stuff, they also are a bit sort of, basically Geminis are quite clever. They're more logic rather than emotion, I'd say, like hair in general. But it does kind of mean that they might not understand you or know how to support you if you are going through like a hard time or something, because
I'm not the greatest at giving advice like with stuff like that.
like
but I
if
do
you,
try.
like if you are in a bad headspace emotionally, they might not. It's not that they won't want to support you, because they will. It's just that they might not know how to cheer you up
Yeah,
I mean, they
that's
can
true.
cheer you up by having fun with you, but they might not know how to cheer you up in a more like heavy emotional sort of way. Think about Gemini. Also, Gemini they don't always like commitment either, because they like to be free and breezy.
Yeah.
So they're not always great with commitment either. Similar to their opposite Sads, but yeah, I mean, they're 4 on my newest list. I do like them quite a lot, but I have a lot of friends who are Gemini, which is why I've scored them higher recently on my newest list, but yeah, that's Gemini. So Cancer then.
So my Mercury is Cancer, so it plays quite a big part when I'm like looking for relationships and that. And I tell you what, I quite like them. You know, like yeah, they may be too clingy or like too lovey-dovey and that.
My rising sign is Cancer, but can I say I don't really like them personally.
To be honest with you, I quite like the clinginess.
I don't like the clinginess.
I don't know why. I just quite like the clinginess.
I mean, maybe because my moon is Capricorn and it's opposite, but I don't like the Cancer clinginess. It feels like it limits you. It sort of restricts your freedom.
But I've said this before, like
they're a bit smothering.
I've said this before. If I was in a relationship, like I'd like someone just to be like obsessed with me. Like I'd love that.
No.
Like maybe like people like Theon and that, they wouldn't like it.
No.
But I just love the idea of someone like, yeah, just putting you first, like thinking of you all the time. Like, I love that.
It doesn't help also that my Venus is in Aquarius.
Yeah.
That
so
definitely
opposite.
doesn't help. Well, Aquarius isn't opposite, but Aquarius is just very detached.
Different, yeah.
Emotionally.
They don't really care.
But even though I'm a Pisces Sun and Mercury, I don't like the clinginess of Cancer. I do like how Cancer is very caring and
I
sort
love
of.
that. Yeah.
They are maternal. They're perfect. They're the perfect mums. Like the female Cancers are the
Definitely.
perfect mums, and then the male Cancers are the perfect dads. They're very like good as parents, definitely. But I do think they're a little bit sort of clingy, a bit smothering. They are also quite lazy, like Taurus.
Yeah. They'd love to just cuddle all day.
They're boring as hell in the bedroom. I'll say that, because they do not like sex. They do kill Mars. So.
Yeah.
They're a bit. They lack initiative in the bedroom. Let's put it that way. But I mean, I do love how caring they are. However, like earning their trust in the first place is quite hard, because they don't just let anyone into their shell. Like they can look quite aloof and even a bit standoffish until you really get to know them. When you get to know them, you realise how like gentle and caring they are. But at first, it's hard to kind of get through to them a little bit.
Yeah.
And because they have that shell, they kind of protect
like
themselves.
A crab, yeah.
Yeah, they protect themselves quite a lot. So you need to like kind of prove your worth to them before they open up to you and show you how they really are. But when they do, you get to see that they are amazing people. But it's hard to earn that from them in the first place.
Yeah.
But that's that. I mean, they are opposite to my moon, so maybe that's why I kind of struggle a bit.
I think you have to gain quite a lot of trust with Cancers.
Yeah, they're not very open, definitely.
No, I don't.
But it's weird because they coordinate the water, so they want to be open, but at the same time they also don't, because they're hiding their emotions and they're quite shy. They're not as open as Pisces. They're not as sort of, I'll let anyone into my life. So they're a bit more like close family and friends is where they're caring, but not so much with strangers.
Yeah, I agree.
Leo next then.
Okay, so
now this would be interesting on my side, but
so I have a Leo moon, so yeah, I do crave quite a lot of attention, I think. And yeah, well, if you know about Leo, you know like they like to be top dog, number one. So that does play a big part in my personality. I also used to have an old boss who was a Leo. Shout out if you're watching this. You lost me my job, but you know what. But at my new job, which I've got now, bar manager is Leo. He's nice, but he is very like. I think he's quite. I don't know how to put it. He's quite. He's quite informative, I'd say, yeah. But overall, I think Leo's all right. I mean, I have lost a little bit of respect for them, but they're not the worst by far, definitely. What do you think about Leo?
I don't like them at all. It's like any Leos watching, I don't get annoyed, but It's like, especially Leo's sun people,
Yeah.
I think their confidence is all for show. It's not actually genuine. And as soon as you don't give them royal treatment, they throw a tantrum. As soon as you don't treat them like top dog, they get annoyed.
Yeah.
And it's like, but say you give them all the attention, but then one day you feel down and you need them to give you attention, they won't do it.
Nah, they're very much like
They're like,
about
well,
themselves.
I'll give you the attention after you've given me the attention. But it's like, well, if you're depressed, you don't want to give them attention. You want them to help you.
They're very self-obsessed, I'd say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have the Aquarius approach, which is obviously their opposite sign. They don't have the Aquarius approach, which is, you know, to be for the group.
Yeah.
And represent the group's mentality, the group voice, like the general consensus of the public. Leo doesn't have that. They're very they're focused only on themselves. But they are also generous, though, and very warm-hearted, but that's kind of only after you've already made them happy.
It takes a while for that to show within them, yeah.
Because at first they need to be validated before they can show their generosity. They won't show their generosity for the sake of it if you haven't like already made them feel special.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite arrogant as well, like, and I don't know, like, my moon in Capricorn doesn't really work with Leo, but it's like, I do feel like they're actually not as confident as they look. Like, they're not like Aries. Like, Aries is like deeply self-confident, but they don't show it as much. Leo shows the confidence more, but they don't actually have it deep down. Like,
no, it's quite hidden.
Leo's quite insecure in a way. Like, I think Leo's kind of like, they want to look confident, so they act confident. But it's not like Aries where they are confident and then they're just like, you know what, I'm confident, I don't need to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Leo's like, I want to be confident, so I'll pretend that I am, and then get the validation, and then that will make me confident.
Agreed, yeah.
So they need that validation. So they act confident, get the validation from others, and then they feel confident. So they're not as confident as they look.
No.
And they're very emotional, more than the other fire signs.
You
but
don't see that side to them, though, really.
Well, I think they're sensitive. As soon as you say something that they don't agree with, they get offended. It's like...
Yeah.
And also, I think Leo is lazy as well, personally.
Oh, Leo can be quite lazy.
Like, for a fire sign, they do not use the energy
Probably
wisely.
the most laziest fire sign.
Yeah, they're definitely the laziest fire sign. They're just...
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't really use it. Like, if they're... Say it's the weekend, they don't need to work or anything, they will literally just do nothing.
Yeah.
Or they'll expect their partner, if they have a partner, they'll expect their partner to do everything for them, and then they just, you know, relax and do nothing all day. And they do have that sort of attitude. Like lions in the wild, lions in the wild are also lazy. Like, the lionesses go and hunt, but the male lions are lazy. They just do nothing.
Definitely.
So,
yeah.
same thing.
Very similar.
I do feel also like male Leos are more lazy than the female Leos.
Yeah.
Similar to lions in the wild. Like, the lionesses fight, but male lions do nothing. I think that's similar with Leo. Like, the Leo males are like more lazy than the Leo females, but they're both a bit lazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. By the way, this video will be long because it's an open chat. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
So, Virgo.
So
This will be interesting for both of us, I think. Yeah.
So Virgo, where do I start? They're quite logical and practical, and like quite down to earth. But one thing I can't stand about them is they're so bloody fussy. Like, everything you do wrong, they will just pick it up with you. They're like, oh, why have you done it this way? It's like, we all have our different ways of learning or coping with things, etc. Like, we don't have to follow Virgo's every individual ways.
But also, like, it's not even like they're fussy, but then they reward you when you do something well.
Yeah.
It's like they're fussy, so they pick up everything you do wrong, but they never praise you when you do something right as well.
No, it's like...
Like, if they criticised and praised, like, equal amounts, it would be not as bad. But because they always criticise and they never give you any credit when you do something right, that's what the problem is.
Like, I can confidently say they are... they're a perfectionist at heart.
Yes.
So, like...
But they're a perfectionist, so they search for perfection, but they're also an earth sign, so they're grounded, and they know that perfection is impossible to achieve, but they still look for it anyway, which doesn't make sense to me.
They pay attention to the smallest things, which just annoys me. It's like, have you not got something more proactive to be doing with your time rather than picking up on people's small faults?
Yeah, well, I feel...
life for me is about learning. Like, you're going to make mistakes, obviously. Like, just let it be.
Well, I feel like us two as well with our sons, we're more the big picture as opposed to the small details.
Yeah, it's all about a big picture for me.
So for me especially, I'm in Pisces, so for me, I don't notice the small details, I'm a lot more about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So I do find it annoying when Virgo misses the big picture because they're so focused on the small details. That is kind of annoying.
Let's just put it this way, I don't think I would be able to stay in a relationship for that long with a Virgo, because I think I'd just get frustrated after a while.
Yeah.
And also I live with one, so my little brother's a Virgo, so you can probably imagine how annoying it is. Like, he has to have everything perfect. He doesn't like it if you touch his stuff. Like, the other day he got a haircut and he was moaning that it was too short. It's like, just get over it. Like, stop being so needy and just actually appreciate it.
Although I do feel like Virgos, though, they are hard working. They are very hard working.
Hard working is a good word for them, yeah.
They're not lazy like Taurus.
No.
Like, don't confuse them with Taurus. They are not lazy at all.
In the workplace, they'd be very, like, hands-on.
Like,
definitely.
I feel like a big difference, obviously Virgo is mutable, so they change more. But another big difference is that Taurus is, like, quite lazy. When they're working, they're less lazy, but they can be quite lazy. But Virgo is never lazy. They are always on the ball. They're not as energetic as Capricorn, but they are still hard working, like...
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're not as big picture as Capricorn, but they are hard working.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they are hard working. They are logical, and I do like how they don't lose their temper very often.
That's true.
They're very calm. And actually they are quite modest. Like, they're not selfish. They do sort of... They can look selfish when they're criticising you, but they're not selfish.
They do have time for other people.
They are quite modest, actually, in a way. So, Libra.
So my mum is a Libra. She's actually a triple Libra. So
Wow.
like Sun, Moon, Mercury. Sun, Moon, Rising, all Libra. So she is probably one of the most chilled out people I know. Like, you've got to do something pretty bad to annoy her, let's just put it this way. And I think with Libras, I have dealt with this firsthand, they are so generous.
Yeah.
Like, I think they can be too generous for my liking.
Yeah, they're too nice.
Like, if you know me and my mum personally, like, my mum, whenever it's Christmas or something, she will always, like, buy loads of presents to people and never put herself forward. Like, for me, I think that you should give yourself self-care as well as treating other people.
Yes. Yeah, Libra and Pisces are both like that. They're too nice, but...
But Libra are, like, one of the most nicest people you can ever meet, literally.
The thing about Libra, I don't think they're actually very confident in themselves. Like,
they act confident.
They do act confident.
They, like, fake a persona in front of people, I think, yeah.
One sort of negative thing about Libra, though, they are a bit superficial. Like, they are, like Leo, actually. They're a bit sort of... They're not very emotional. They're not very deep, really.
No.
That's something about them. And their sun's weak. Their sun is weak, so they kind of act confident, but they actually are quite... They lack confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But also they're a bit sort of people pleaser, a little bit.
Like to make a good impression.
The thing about Libra, they don't have really strong opinions on anything. Like, obviously they're opposite to Aries, so... Libra doesn't have a strong opinion about anything. They kind of agree with the general consensus. They kind of agree with what everyone else agrees with.
Yeah, I think they do.
But then it's kind of like they don't have their own opinions because they're just agreeing with everyone else, which is a bit strange for them. It probably causes them some confusion, to be honest, because they don't know if they actually agree or if they're just agreeing to keep the peace.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think because they don't argue, they cause more problems. Because if they argued more directly, things might actually get resolved quicker. But because they never want to argue, sometimes they draw out conflicts longer than necessary because they don't actually argue.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they need a bit of the Aries fire so that they do argue, because at least like things get resolved quicker if you speak your mind.
That's true.
And they don't speak their mind. But also Libra, they can be a bit lazy.
A little bit, yeah.
They're a bit sort of, what do you call it? They're also a bit sort of, they're a people pleaser. They don't argue enough. They need to get a bit more assertive, I think.
Yeah.
And not let people walk all over them as much. I do love, though, how they are so fair-minded. They like to make sure justice has been served in any situation.
Yeah.
They hate arguing also because they're so, what do you call it? They're so fair-minded. They hate feeling that they've done
something wrong.
Yeah, they hate feeling like they've been unfair to someone in any way. They're very serious though, but they don't like to think that they've done anyone dirty. They hate that feeling. But also I think they want to be accepted by people a little too much, but that's that. But I do love them overall.
Yeah.
Scorpio.
So my dad is a Scorpio. They are associated with intensity,
Yes.
passion. Like Scorpios, you know when a Scorpio's in a room. Let's just put it this way. I think they're quite inquisitive, focused, like people in general.
Quite psychic, actually.
And they always like to know what's going on. So like, they are so psychic.
They have a gift of figuring out what's going on, even if you don't tell them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Scorpio, they are very intense. They're a bit possessive, which I don't really like.
Yes, they are very possessive, especially in relationships.
Like, my Venus in Aquarius doesn't like their possessiveness. They're a bit sort of over the top. They get jealous easily.
Yeah.
In the bedroom, though, unlike Cancer, Scorpio is a fucking sex god.
They're very informative as well, Scorpios. Like, you could tell them anything and they'll just spend like next to nothing with it, next to nothing amount of time just to find out information.
Scorpios like to figure things out.
Like the past 2 jobs I've been working at, like I've applied for them, and before I know it, before I even have the interview, my dad's just been telling me a whole load of information.
Yeah.
About who owns it and stuff like that.
Scorpios really suit anything that requires them to be like a detective.
Yeah.
They are great at that sort of thing.
My dad, I know I shouldn't be saying this on YouTube, but my dad is great at hacking. Like, if you give him something, like it doesn't take him that long just to hack into something. So you could literally be getting something for free, which is worth like a lot more than, obviously free.
I don't like how Scorpio is so mean when you make them annoyed though. When they're angry, they are so nasty in a way.
Yeah.
They get so bitter. They do get vengeful. I know it's a bit of a stereotype, but it is quite true. Like, they are quite nasty if you've ever pissed them off.
I think Scorpios can also get quite jealous as well. Like, if they're not getting like.
Yeah, they need a lot of attention actually, but not in like a superficial way like Leo, but more so in they want to be intimately connected with you on an emotional level.
Yeah.
So as soon as you spend too much time without them, they do get jealous.
I agree. Yeah.
And then they kind of question you too much. They're kind of like, oh, why are you not spending more time with me?
Yeah.
So they can do that. I don't like them as much as Cancer or Pisces, but like, I do like how they're focused as well. They are determined, they're energetic, all of these things are good about them.
There is one person we're friends with who's a Scorpio. I just find him too obsessive, and that's why I've sort of gone off him as a person. Now you may be thinking, oh, but you said like you like clinginess of Cancer and that. But I think the clinginess
it's
and
a different type of
is a
clinginess.
Different type, yeah.
Like, Cancer's clingy, but they have the best of intentions. But
Scorpio's
clingy because they want to own people. That's the difference.
Dominate people, yeah.
But they want to own people. They sort of treat you like a possession of theirs.
Yeah, rather than a person.
Whereas Cancer, they want to be clingy because they want to look out for you. They want to
Maybe just
protect
want the best
you.
for you, yeah.
But Scorpio, they want to own you, which is a bit like nobody should own a person. A person is their own person.
Yeah.
Nobody should own that person.
You know it, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Sagittarius.
So my rising is Sagittarius.
Basically, pretty much everyone I know has rising Sagittarius. I don't know what's going on.
People
but,
I
yeah.
talk to, like, there's quite a lot of people I talk to are Sagittarius, and I love them. Like, yeah, they may be blunt, which...
They are very blunt. I will say, they are blunt to the point of rudeness at times, which is a bit over the top.
If you know me as a person, like, I can come across as quite blunt and cocky, but that's just my Sagittarius side coming out, like... Just know I'm not like that all the time.
No.
So, they're very honest as well, Sagittarius, and
I think they're too honest though. Like, you know, like sometimes you have to tell a white lie to avoid upsetting or offending someone.
Yeah.
Sads doesn't. So you could say to a Sads, "Oh, I don't feel great today. I think my hair's messy. My clothes don't suit me. What do you think?" If they think that it doesn't suit you or that you don't look good, they will tell you.
Yeah, rather than making you feel like...
Other signs might tell a little white lie in that situation and be like, "No, what do you mean? You look okay, you look good." Sads won't. Unless they truly believe you look good, they will not tell you that you look good.
Which I quite admire, actually.
They will be like, "Actually, no, you look awful." But they're just being honest, so they don't apologise for it because they think it's good to be honest, which...
Good to be open, yeah.
They've got good ethics and morals, so it's true. They do stand by them too. But they don't lie at all, which sometimes you kind of do need to lie to be more compassionate. You need to be tactful, that's what it is. They don't have tact. Like, they'll just say something without realising...
You do need to sugarcoat it, yeah.
Yeah, they don't sugarcoat. Like, they will say something without realising that the person could take it offensively. Like, or take offence to it, rather. Like, they won't notice that they could have offended the other person.
Yeah.
But then, even if they do offend the other person, they still don't notice. You need to tell them directly, "You have offended me," before they do anything about it.
I think they're quite outgoing people.
They're very outgoing.
Yeah.
They're very loud because they're ruled by Jupiter. So.
Yeah, I love that though.
They're very loud. I mean, they're 3 on my list, so I do really like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do love them, but they are a bit boisterous. Like, sometimes they're too much for me, similar to Leo and Aries. Like, fire can overwhelm me a bit because I've got a lot of water in my chart, so sometimes fire and water don't work that well.
No.
So if there's too much fire, my water sort of gets a bit overwhelmed. So that can happen with Sads for me, which you might not have the same problem.
No,
but
like, fire seems to get on, like, really well with me and air.
Like, I've got a lot of fire in my chart because of Mars and Pluto and everything.
Yeah.
But because I've got a lot of water, the fire can still overwhelm me when it gets too much.
Yeah, I've got double fire.
Yeah, like, I've got Sads and Aries in a few placements.
So, like, my moon's Leo, obviously my sun is Gemini, my rising's Sag, so...
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of Aries and Sagittarius, but
yeah.
Still, it's just, fire can be too much. I forgot to say about Leo, Leo can get way too much. Like, Leo can really annoy me in that way. Sads doesn't annoy me, though, but... Because, also, Sads doesn't like relationships. They're a bit scared of commitment.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, because sometimes, like, they won't settle down with a partner. They'll always want to keep their options open and be free, which I don't like that.
Yeah. I sort of agree.
That's the only thing which is stopping me from putting them as number 2 on my list instead of number 3, is that they don't like commitment.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of water and I'm emotional, so I do need commitment, and they don't really like commitment.
They don't stable that, no.
Yeah, they're not stable.
Not enough.
They need a fixed sign really to stabilise them.
Not enough stability.
Yeah, they need more stability. Like,
yeah.
One good thing about Leo is that they are more stable because they're the fixed sign.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Sads is a bit all over the place, a bit too chaotic.
I agree.
But yeah. Okay, yeah, so Capricorn now.
Moving on to Capricorn. My boss at work is a Capricorn, so it sort of suits the job role really well.
Yeah, they're very professional.
very professional indeed.
Now, Capricorn is my moon sign, by the way, so I kind of think I understand them quite well.
They're very like, they basically suit the manager role very well.
Yes.
Like,
they can be a bit bossy, though.
Yeah, they're very hard working. They like the work done as soon as possible, really.
And they never get tired of professional things either.
No.
They are very...
I agree with that 100%.
I think they're, you know, like at school, they're the type of student that will do all-nighters every day to revise for an exam.
Yeah, because they want to just be perfectionists.
I said
it's like Virgo in a way.
Yeah, well, they're both Earth, yeah, they are similar. Although I do think a difference is that Capricorn is more focused and Virgo is more scattered.
However, Capricorn can be like, if you don't know them, like, on
they
a personal level, they can be very selfish.
Well, not really selfish though. They're very cold-hearted sometimes. Like,
yeah.
not well, they can be mean, but not deliberately, like Scorpio.
No.
But I don't think Capricorn's ever mean on purpose. They're more so like they can look quite unapproachable if you don't know them.
No, yeah.
They are ruled by Saturn, so yeah, they are quite serious and that. Capricorn's sun, I think, is worse than the moon for that.
Yeah.
Because it's more obvious when it's the sun rather than the moon. But like I said in my Capricorn explanation video I did like months ago, that is also, I said in that video, they're the type of student who will pull an all-nighter 3 days in a row if there's an exam coming up because they want A star. They do not want a D or a C even. They want the top grades. And then if they don't achieve what they think they should have achieved, they feel awful. They're like, oh, for God's sake, I didn't achieve what I should have been able to do.
They'll put themselves down a lot, I think.
And then, well, they're confident, but they do put themselves down. They're strict on themselves.
Yeah,
but
they're strict, I think.
Yeah, but they're also strict on other people too. Like,
like
my moon is Capricorn, so emotionally I can be a bit strict on people, I think. And emotionally, I do this too. Like you might notice,
right?
I can be hard on myself emotionally.
Yeah.
Like if I do something, I will think about it weeks later, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that?" And then like you'll be like, "Well, it's in the past. Just move on, and you know, learn from it, but just live your life in the present."
Practice what you preach.
I can't do that. Because my moon is very serious, and if I feel like I've done one thing that was bad or like not fitting my character, I will beat myself up about it for months to come, which is a bad trait of the Capricorn moon.
I get that though,
And it doesn't help that I've got loads of Cancer and Pisces because I'm also emotional, but I am very hard on myself. Capricorn sun does it more like they're hard on their own identity because it's the sun, but they can be too strict on themselves. They're very energetic.
Yeah.
They don't talk much. That's another thing.
No, unless you make the person.
They're not very good at the art of conversation.
No.
Definitely.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're quite. They're quite blunt as well, and they can be bossy. Yeah, I mean, they're not as fussy as Virgo though. I wouldn't say they're as fussy as Virgo.
Yeah.
Because I think Capricorn is focused more on the big picture, and Virgo's more focused on every small detail on the way to achieving the big picture. That's a difference, I think, between them. Is that Virgo will think... I said this in the explanation video as well, if you watched it, but I said that Virgo's more like, they say they want to become the manager, they will think, I want to become the manager, and at the minute I'm just at the bottom of the hierarchy in the workplace. I want to become the manager, so they will think, step-by-step plan, what do I need to do on each step of the road in order to become the manager, and that's my final goal. So then they'll do all these small things that they need to do in order to climb the ladder in the workplace. Capricorn, they will want to become the manager, but instead of doing this list of like, I should do this, then this, then this, and eventually I'll become the manager, Capricorn's more like, they just know what they want to achieve and they'll just work for it. They won't go, I want to do this, and then this, and then this, and then I'll become the manager, which is more Virgo. Capricorn doesn't look so much in the details, they're more just, I want to become the manager, I'm just going to work my arse off until I become the manager.
That's it, yeah.
So they're different in that way, but they are very similar, and then obviously Taurus as well, they're all earth signs. Although I feel like Taurus is the most relaxed, definitely.
Yeah.
Taurus is the most relaxed, and they're the most emotional, definitely. But they're the most relaxed, and they're sort of they enjoy the pleasures of what they achieve.
Yeah.
Whereas Capricorn is very disciplined, and Virgo is very health conscious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Aquarius, this is quite complicated, this one, but
So Aquarius, like, I like them, because they're very unique, definitely, and they think outside the box and always trying to think of new ideas to try and make the world a better place, which I like. However, sometimes if you just don't know them on a personal level, they can just come across as too random, I think, anyway. I'm not sure about you.
Well, my Venus is Aquarius, so I am attracted to people who are Aquarius.
Yeah.
But if you don't know them, similar to Capricorn, they can come across a bit detached and a bit sort of
flaky, yeah.
Yeah, they can be flaky, which Capricorn isn't.
No.
But they can be. Aquarius is similar to Capricorn in that they're both not that emotional, so they're both quite sort of. They don't look very warm or passionate or generous at first glance. When you first meet them, they do look a bit cold and not very
Quite
nice
serious,
in that way.
yeah.
And they are both serious. They both have strong Saturn. I do think Aquarius can just rebel against authority for the sake of it, which is a bit annoying because, yeah, sometimes they're a bit too rebellious. Like, they will just say no for the sake of saying no.
Yeah, which I don't really like.
But I have a lot of Aquarius in my personal chart, and I love that Aquarius is I like their rebelliousness. I hate it, but I also like it because, you know, society is not going to ever progress if we don't have Aquarius to challenge the rules and the regulations. Like,
True though, yeah.
I feel like Capricorn kind of represents all of these society's rules and expectations and all of that. And then Aquarius kind of represents sort of getting rid of them and, you know, becoming a new sort of society. So it's like every time that humans are evolving and becoming, you know, getting new expectations, new rules and regulations, that's thanks to Aquarius, because that would not happen without Aquarius to, like, sort of push
No, not at all.
innovation. They innovate and they forge the path to humanity becoming a better version of themselves, which would not happen without Aquarius.
Yeah.
Whereas Capricorn is quite like, you know, follow what we've always done and be traditional. And Aquarius is like, don't worry about tradition, make your life different, like make the rules.
Yeah.
Instead of following what other people tell you to do,
Be creative.
do what you want to do and don't do what anyone else tells you to do, which I do
I
like
that,
about
yeah.
Aquarius. I feel like Aquarius, yeah, they are very caring, but they just never show you that.
No,
Like,
you have to sort of like find out for yourself, sort of thing.
like, because they're opposite to Leo, Leo's got like loads of warmth and caring and generosity, but Aquarius, because they're opposite, they have it too, but they do not show it. It's really hard to see it in them. They are generous and humanitarian and all this, but you can't easily notice at first because they don't show you that.
No.
Like, they can sometimes look like an airy Capricorn in a way, where they are quite standoffish and a bit bossy even. But they're also quite chilled. It's a weird combination.
It is a bit weird, yeah.
Because they can be chilled, but they can also be very sort of serious when it comes to changing the world.
So you're not sure really what side you're going to get with them.
Yeah, but it's not like they're flaky.
No.
But they're serious about changing the world, but they're also quite laid back and non-judgmental as well. So it's they kind of have two sides in a way.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I guess that's that. So Pisces then.
Pisces, the last one. So you're obviously a Pisces.
Yes.
Fion's been my longest friend since primary school, and we're both, well, I'm 20, he's 21. Pisces, I think, are very much big dreamers. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, daydreamers.
That's something that I actually don't like about Pisces, because it's good, but when you do it too much, it becomes bad because you get too disconnected from the real world,
But
which I don't like.
You know what? It is what it is. Like, you can't change that. Like,
The thing about Pisces, they're not practical at all.
No, like as they're at work sort of thing. Like I imagine they'd be like very hands-on. I'm not sure what you think, but
Well, they can be, but then it depends, because if they start dreaming on the job,
yeah, it's not very
they lose focus. They lose focus really easily. And also, they're a bit naive. They literally trust everyone.
They are quite gullible, I
Yes,
think.
they
Yeah.
feel like everyone has good intentions like them. There's
Yeah.
no nasty people in the world. They trust everyone. And even if someone's acting weird and they're throwing red flags and you're like, wait, you should stop talking to them, they're dodgy, Pisces will not notice. They'll just carry on talking to that person.
They're very similar to Cancers as well, in the sense of being very emotional, I think.
Yeah, although I don't think they're as clingy as Cancer.
No, I don't think they are, actually.
But a difference is Cancer is more stable. Pisces is more chaotic. Pisces is all over the place.
Yeah.
Cancer's more grounded. Cancer doesn't dream as much as Pisces. They're a bit more real world, whereas Pisces is more dreamland.
My other old boss was a Pisces, and you could literally tell her anything and she just wouldn't like judge you or anything about it. And
yeah, they don't judge at all. That's nice.
When you used to do the work for my old boss, she didn't care really like how long like in a time period when you'd get it done. Like you could get it done really quick or you could get it done really long. Like she wouldn't mind. Like, because I don't think they really, faff about with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, they are very much big picture. Obviously, they're opposite to Virgo, so they don't focus on the details at all. They're very much just, they want the result to happen, but they don't necessarily care how it gets done as long as it gets done eventually.
Yeah.
They're very much big picture. They're very non-judgmental, which is nice. Again, opposite to Virgo.
Yeah.
They don't criticise people. They don't waste time doing that. They don't see the point in that. They are quite psychic as well, like Scorpio and Cancer. They're not always good on commitment because they can be a bit flighty. They're not as focused as the other two water signs. And because of Neptune, they sort of want to break boundaries, but sometimes they break too many boundaries and then they don't really have healthy boundaries in relationships with other people, which is a problem.
That is quite a big deal breaker.
They're a bit they let everyone walk all over them, and like Libra, they're too nice and they let people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
They do strengthen Venus, so they have so much love for people that they don't know how to be assertive and like stand up for themselves, which is a bit of a problem. I'm not so much like that because my moon's Capricorn, so it grounds me a bit more. But Pisces that don't have an Earth moon are even more dreamy than me, I would say, and they struggle to set boundaries. Like, if I really need to, I will set boundaries with people. I don't like to because I don't like to offend them, but I do it if I really need to. But because of my Earth moon, if I had like not an Earth moon, I think I would find it even harder to set the boundaries, and I would be even more gullible, which I don't really like. But like, I don't think you could find a nicer sign, really. You've got Libra and Pisces and Taurus. They're like the nicest signs in a way.
Yeah.
Like, you can't find more generous signs. I would actually include Leo in that too, actually.
They can be, yeah.
And Aquarius. But yeah, Pisces also, they're a bit warm. They're too warm in a way. Like, yeah. They can get offended very easily as well. You sort of need to walk on eggshells with them a bit. But overall, they're now number 2 on my list instead of number 1, despite the fact I am a Pisces, because Taurus is now number 1 for me. But I do like how Pisces is less clingy than Cancer. They're a bit more fun and social than Cancer, I'd say, as well.
Yeah, more outgoing.
And
I think.
they can be more outgoing, but they're also shy as well. But yeah, they're a bit more outgoing. But they are very... I don't like how they're not very organised. They're very dreamy, so yeah. So yeah, we've been speaking for ages now.
But you know what? It was great just to like express our feelings of all the star signs. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I actually enjoy this less structured sort of video from time to time, especially with a collab. Like, I like to just chat more openly.
I mean, thank you for having me on the channel.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. Thank you.
So I don't know how this will go down with you lot watching, but like, I like this more sort of less structured, free-flowing conversation sort of style to it.
It's nice, definitely.
Yeah, but I will collab with you again in the future on different videos. I'll get more of a structured one next time, I think, but I kind of yeah, I will collab again.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
So yeah, okay. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that. I'll see you next
Hope
time.
you're all well. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.